Biden's address was met with swift reaction from some who say he did not rise to the level of commander-in-chief. Take a listen.
This is Biden's biggest blunder. It's his Saigon moment. Biden's saying they didn't fight. He's dead wrong.
This is one of the greatest disasters in modern American history. This is a disaster on humanitarian grounds for women and minorities. It's a disaster for our credibility.
That's what they were told. That's what they were warned would happen. They didn't care, and now we see the consequences of it.
We had lots of challenges. We didn't pass the buck. We didn't blame them. We just dealt with them. We confronted them. We took them on. President Biden is the one that needs to be held accountable for what's taking place in Afghanistan today.
Now let's bring in Robert Charles, former Assistant Secretary of State for George W. Bush and former naval intel officer who served in the Reagan and Bush 41 White Houses. Sir, thank you for waking up early. There was a bit of an admission from the president yesterday in saying that this happened a bit quicker than they anticipated. That being said, there was also a lot of blame going around and a lot of blame on the Afghan troops. In your estimation, is that fair?
You know, Jill and Todd, I can't tell you how it's hard for me to properly present the extent of this foreign policy failure. This is a cascading national security failure, and I'm going to make a little news here for you. There is a document in the embassy traditionally called the F-77, and that document describes how many Americans are in the country. I am told that the F-77 for Afghanistan indicates there are some 15,000, potentially upward to 40,000 Americans scattered around Afghanistan right now. We also know the Taliban has given a 2-week basically grace period for them to get out, but most of them are being told to shelter in place by the State Department. And we're talking about places like Herat and Mazi Sharif and Kandahar and Jalalabad. It's very difficult to get in from there. Then we're told, actually I'm told, that the Taliban is in control now, complete control of Kabul, and that what you have at the airport, Biden has had to fall on bent knee and create 3 rings around the airport. The Taliban controls the outer ring. What's left of the Afghan security forces is the next ring, and the Marines are the last ring in. The notion here that, well, let me add an additional fact, which is just, to me, extraordinary. I am told that the Foreign Service, to avoid responsibility for an anticipated evacuation, remember we evacuated some 100,000 people from around the world last year with COVID, to avoid the responsibility for evacuation, 3 weeks ago, they convinced the Secretary to sign a document, which has not even been sent to Congress yet, essentially eliminating the Crisis and Contingency Response Bureau, which is responsible for evacuations. They were told Kabul could happen, and they backed away from it. So to me, it's just, and then to see the president get on nationally and blame lowly intelligence analysts who are not allowed to talk to the media, who can't talk policy, and then to give 2 premises, basically saying that the Taliban was to be ousted and he achieved that. Well, in 10 days, he just re-achieved the opposite outcome. They're now in control again. And then to say that you'd have to put tens of thousands of soldiers in to get peace, that's not what we had. Last year, Donald Trump continued to intensively negotiate for peace. We had leverage. We had a finger in the dike. We had troops on the ground. We had 10 casualties, and frankly, we've had 7 casualties just trying to get out of the airport. So it's an absurdity. It's really a disgrace. And I would tell you, this is sort of like Dunkirk with a bad ending. This was a completely avoidable turn of events. In the near term, it's a disaster from the point of view of humanitarian, refugees, all of the tens of thousands of Afghans. There were at least 20,000 who applied for visas because they'd helped us. They couldn't process more than 2,000, and I'm told there are tens of thousands out there on top of the American citizens that can't get to the airport. And on top of all that, we're sort of looking here at long-term consequences. Don't think that China and Russia and Iran and North Korea aren't looking at this and saying, boy, this is the living embodiment of weakness. This is the Bay of Pigs plus the debacle on the desert plus Biden on vacation. This is just absurd. It's an abdication of responsibility, and it's one of the worst national security decisions, I think, in my lifetime, and I was born in 1960.
Just to follow up on that real quick, because you mentioned China and Russia, where does that leave Taiwan? Because now that has entered the conversation.
It should absolutely be at the center of the conversation. And why wasn't it at the center of the conversation in the National Security Council ahead of time, right? Hindsight is always 20/20. But let's look at this very closely. If you essentially cut and run, scamper out of there, in a crisis mode, what it telegraphs to the world is that you really are not engaged internationally. You're not willing to be engaged internationally. If I am China, I'm looking right now and saying maybe this is the time to force a negotiation on that country, because the United States allies are questioning around the world, and I would think Taiwan would be questioning how strong is that commitment that that they've always made to us. How strong are the commitments they've made to allies all over the world? I mean, you just don't cut and run. Vietnam taught us this, but apparently, Biden's forgotten all that.
Meantime, Bobby, the White House revealing it is willing to transfer power to the Taliban. Here's State Department spokesperson Ned Price. Listen.
A future Afghan government that upholds the basic rights of its people, that doesn't harbor terrorists, and that protects the basic rights of its people, including the basic fundamental rights of half of its population, its women and girls. That is a government that we would be able to work with.
You mentioned your discussion with your sources from earlier. Based upon what you are hearing in real time from those sources in the intel community, do you have any confidence that what Ned Price just described will happen?
Let me step back one step and say, Todd, this is a classic sleight of hand, in my opinion. The bottom line here is we have no leverage. We can't tell the Taliban to do anything right now. The Taliban controls Kabul and they control the country. They are the only variable we've got anything like leverage on is the idea that they would like to be considered a credible country, and they would like to have international legitimacy, which China and Russia have already given them. We have no leverage here. So the notion that we're giving conditions to the Taliban while we scamper out, with fear in the lead, that's just I mean, just intuitively, most Americans will realize that's not credible. The sad part is here, Todd, we had credibility in this country. We had multiple administrations that could have gotten us to a peace accord. We did not bring the Afghan government in fast enough. Okay, that's a true fault. But this business, I mean, this is the tail that wags the dog. I mean, this is a failure that swallows everything, because it's not only an immediate failure, humanitarian crisis, national security crisis for the region, for the country, for American citizens on the ground, but it is a long-term crisis, because what you've done is you've thoroughly undermined the trust that our allies had in us, and you've fortified our adversaries to believe that we don't have the staying power to make things happen when we say we will. This was not supposed to end in 10 days. And to blame the intelligence analysts, I am sure that there was intelligence in front of this White House that said this could happen. And then for the president to just run away and say, gosh, no questions, I blame the intelligence analysts and the Afghans, have a good day. To me, that's disgraceful. That's Dunkirk with a bad ending.
Robert Charles, we can't thank you enough for your insight this morning. It is disturbing what you said, but it is important that we heard it. Robert, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.